My husband and I ended up getting back together, and I moved into the house that he was living in. And things were going rather well again. And then they didn't. I remembered that when my sister-in-law moved out, the same sister-in-law that had come down, she ended up moving out, and she was saying that it seemed like there was a presence in the house. And I didn't think anything of it. You see, this particular person, I can tell, had a lot of bad spirits around, because when bad spirits are around somebody, when they are confronted with the truth, they become very aggressive. She had moved out and moved into her boyfriend's place, and we went to go and visit them. And I went into the bathroom, and I'd seen all of my things, and I started seeing my ornaments and my decorations and my stuff in her home. So I confronted her, and I was like, these are mine. Why would you steal from me? And she freaked right out and kicked me out of her house. Our boyfriend pulled her back when she tried to attack me. And then when she knew that my husband was gone to work, her and her boyfriend came over to the house, and she confronted me about humiliating her. You see, the same thing happened with my teacher. She brought up this humiliation, right? And she lunges at me, and she wouldn't get out of my space, and she's yelling, and I'm not a fighter. And I'm telling her, like, I was honest, those are mine. How much were each of those things? Like, I know that my towels were $45 a piece, you know? And I got them from the Bay, you know, like. But anytime that I would bring the truth to somebody who had a lot of spirits around them, darkened spirits, they become very aggressive and angry. And she pushed me down backwards, and her boyfriend came over. And when I was trying to get up, he punches me and gives me a black eye. I kicked him out of my house, and when my husband came home, he had asked about my eye, so I told him what had happened. And he didn't believe me. He didn't believe that his sister would do something like that, because his sister loves him and wants the best for him, and I am the best for him. So why would my sister attack you and then try to put a wedge between me and my sister, or try to separate me from my family? I'm completely blown away. Then things smoothed out again. And then really weird things started to happen. My cousin, she got married, so we went back to Sturgeon Lake and went to this wedding. And when I came home, my husband had been partying that weekend, and all of my clothes were gone. And when I confronted him about it, asking him, where are my clothes? Like, were you kicking me out, or did you think that I was leaving? says no, that I must have taken all of them. And then there was this wedge put between us. And my house just seemed different when I came home. I didn't like spending any time inside the house, and I always spent my time all by myself because my husband was working, and when he wasn't working, he was out with his buddies, and I didn't care if he was out with his friends, but I felt alone. And I started hearing these really weird things, like I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning my physical body because I have stretch marks now and I don't have a perfect toned body. And I'm sitting here wondering things that, like, what does it mean to be loose? Because I'm hearing these, you're loose, you're loose. So I had asked a guy what the hell that meant. I'm hearing things that in my head that I don't even know the meaning of. And it was driving me crazy. Why was I constantly thinking that my husband was cheating on me when he was just out with guys? Why was I talking so negatively about myself? And I became lost in my head. And then I got a girlfriend. I was sitting outside one day and this girl, she'd walked over and she's like, I really like this house. She goes, you have a nice house. Thank you. So we just took over both suites, and the upstairs suite is for rent. She's like, it is? I'm looking for a place. We sat there, and I'd see her every day, and I'd say hi to her when she would be walking with her daughter. Her and her boyfriend and her daughter moved in. And then the sexual talk started happening. These fantasies. My husband was going through his own, like the pornos that he was wanting to watch all the time. But this time it's, I want to take pictures of you. Not nude pictures, but he would buy me lingerie, and he wanted me to wear this lingerie, and he was taking Polaroids of me. And then it progressed into wanting to have a threesome. And these thoughts about me, my sexuality, my body, they were getting worse and worse. And I started to remember the things that were done to me. What these men that had sexually abused me when I was little. And I'm telling myself, remember how it feels, remember how it feels. And I am laying there and I'm enjoying what's happening, and then all of a sudden I can't get these thoughts out of my head, and my head, I'm like trying to shake my head, like trying to shake my brain while I'm laying there and trying to get these thoughts out of my head, and they wouldn't. And the one thing that I noticed about these thoughts was that they always came from my right side, and they would stop when I would go to put my head down, and then I could hear them more. And I'm like, I would shake my head. That was when the perversion came in. Because while this is happening to me, I'm very sure now that it is happening to my husband as well. And it became very experimental. And our sex life got really odd. Especially when I started using the drugs. This one night, the guys all went to the bar, and I seen them smoking this pipe. It was a glass pipe, a long tube. It had a whole bunch of white stuff in it. So I had seen them smoking it, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I've never seen this before. There was 5 pipes there, and I smoked them, and I'm trying to get like this buzz that you would get from smoking a joint, or I'm looking for this buzz that the same feeling, or this feeling when you have a couple of drinks, and I didn't get anything off of it, but I couldn't go to sleep. And when I couldn't go to sleep, I had a lot of energy, and those thoughts, they stopped. They stopped happening. And once they stopped happening and I had a lot of energy, my house was like completely spotless, but I couldn't keep up with my laundry because this stuff made me feel very dirty. And I was having showers like left, right, and center, and changing clothes because I felt yucky. Like I always felt dirty. I was always sweating. And so I couldn't keep up with my laundry. And once the drugs started happening, other stuff were happening around us. And that's for my next video. Oh, actually, my next door neighbor upstairs, she chose to babysit for us one night, and we went out to the movies on the north side. And when we came back, she told us that she would never step foot in our house again. And I was like, what did we do? And she said, well, I'll babysit, no problem, but it's going to be upstairs. I don't like your house. So she explained, her and her boyfriend explained that they had seen somebody walking down the stairs just minutes before we came home, and shortly after they had come down and we had left, and they were doing laundry. So they thought that the first person, Michael, thought that it was Michelle. So he went down, and then there was nobody there. And Michelle wasn't downstairs. She was actually coming downstairs from their place. And then shortly before we came, Michelle had seen somebody going downstairs. So she called down to her boyfriend to make sure that he grabbed her daughter's blanket. And her boyfriend stood behind her, and he says, yeah, I have it in my hand. And she says, I thought I saw you just go downstairs. And he goes, not again. Like, you're seeing things this time? She said, I just seen somebody's back walk down the stairs. And he goes, well, maybe Brian and Betsy came back. And they just didn't let us know. So they went outside for a smoke, and they seen us walking up the street. And that was the first of many things that happened in this house.